Hey, 4:30 a.m. here in Mexico. Welcome to Planet Michael. I like to get up early. I like to turn a candle on and simply start the day really quietly. And I'll show you a little bit of my routine. I do things differently in the world. This podcast is about how to live life unafraid, how to challenge yourself, do unique things. I'm going to show you art, architecture, gardening, just organizational skills, screenwriting, you name it, fashion design, everything. I do have my fingers into a lot of things and I have a unique perspective. It's not my best look, but this is reality. And what I'm going to do is challenge you. Just look at your own life and say, hey, what am I doing? Why do I do it that way? Or why can't I try something new? I try to do something new every day in my life, something I've never done, which is a real challenge, but it's not as hard as you think. So I'm going to turn the light on for one thing so you can see what's going on here. And tell you a little bit about what I do in my morning. So we'll start. So after I use the banyo, which I left that part out for you. I'm gonna come in here and I weigh myself, and that's a little easy process. But I have to take my clothes off, so I'll do it. So stepping on the scale this morning, I'm 181, which is a little high because I ate out yesterday. I cleaned myself up a little bit, and now where's my shirt? I drink a full glass of water, like a whole glass, and then I get ready to go. One of the other things I do to develop balance and stamina while you're getting older is I put my shoes and my socks on while I'm standing up. And it's really good for you. And I have about 40 other recommendations in this area, which I'll cover in another video, about what you can do to help yourself as you get older to maintain your balance, your strength, stamina, and your mental acumen. Okay. So I started out before COVID at 217 and down to 181. So that's 36 pounds. And I did that by little, just changing my diet, mostly a tiny bit of exercise more, but mostly just eating the right foods. Yeah, so today I'm gonna swim this morning, so I didn't shower, just clean up because I have congestion. The pool is real warm here in the morning because they add water from the underground volcanic aquifer to the pool. So I'm going to go down there and do that, and then go off to my house I'm constructing, and we're going to do a lot of things this morning. Okay, so I love dogs, and this is my dog Taco. He's a big baby. Found him up on the mountain. When my partner's not here, I let him sleep on the bed with me. He's a good boy, but he's a little bit of a pit bull, and I've had to dominate him to make sure, but he loves to be petted now, and he's become gentle, and he's still got a lot of spark to him, so he'll get up, and we're going to go out and feed the other dogs. Yeah, I don't make the bed when my partner's not here, and open the windows, let the air in. It's March 2nd, I think. And we have basically a really nice weather at this time of year. It's about, let's see, what is it? It's 50 at night and maybe almost 75, 85 during the day. 85, yeah. I don't know about you, but I like to have my dogs in the house. So I don't want them to ruin my couch. So I took this old mattress cover and I'm going to stick it on here and cover it and then let them in. And they like to join me in the morning. I don't want them outside barking and waking up everyone because I get up early, but they like to come in and spend some time with me. Yeah, so after I put rice and the hot dogs and everything in it, I give it to them. Let them eat it. It's got rice and dog food on the top. So let's talk about life. living life intentionally, you know, and making a decision about what you want to do. So these eggshells, for example, I'm just going to soak them and clean them off a little bit, put them on a plate and let them dry, and crunch them up, and we put them in a bottle like this. And we use those for when we plant our plants underneath the tomatoes in the ground. And you can put them in your compost too if you want. But life in general, let's talk about life. So this podcast is going to be about everything: relationships, how you stretch yourself, how you, writing, art, language, culture, architecture, everything. And I have a little bit of a unique spin on it. Everyone does, I guess. But I thought it might be good to present it and just to say, as a contrast for you, Politics too, you're going to hear it from the left and the right, because I've been on both sides. I'm also been married to a man, been married to a woman. So you're going to hear that perspective, which will be a little different, I think, from some things you might heard. And, I'm into a lot of things, and I have Asperger's syndrome, autism, high-functioning autism. So you're going to get a different concept about it. For example, here's some of my paintings. So this one I recently did, and I called it, I Shouldn't Have Done LSD That Time in College, or the subtitle would be Getting Rid of All My Old Paints. But it's very creative and colorful, and I'm not sure it's done yet, but I decided to get out of my box a little bit and just start using colors I don't use very often. This one, I designed the frame as a cell phone, and if you look close, that's me on the beach in Argentina, and that's my partner reflected in my sunglasses with the ocean in my sunglasses. And then if you go down here, there's all little scenes of each of us in Argentina doing different things by the beach. So it's sort of, I bet you haven't seen a painting like that before. Hey, so I didn't mention that I was diagnosed 15 years ago, at that time, with Asperger's syndrome, high-functioning autism, and how much that late diagnosis changed my life. Because I instantly saw all of my behavior, which was quite eccentric and weird and good in many ways, but curious and funny and stupid to my children. I saw the context of it and how I just think differently. And when I saw Temple Grandin's, when I read her book, Thinking in Pictures, my staff member recommended it to me. She said, Michael, read this. You'll be bored with all the cow information, but get to the last 2 chapters and you'll understand. So I read it, and I was bored with all the cow information. But I got to the last 2 chapters, and it said, it described me. I always am so visual. I can take you back anywhere I've ever gone and give you a tour in my brain. And I don't know the names of the streets, but I can take you back. I even can take you back, it's almost 50 years now, that when I got married originally in my honeymoon, I can take you back for the 2-month trip on the honeymoon. I have the itinerary in my head, everywhere we drove. I can even take you back to specific restaurants if they're still there. They probably changed names, but I know pretty much where they are. So I thought that everyone did that, and I didn't know that it was peculiar to me. So my diagnosis really helped me to understand that. Today for my breakfast, I made 2 breakfasts yesterday, so I wouldn't have to make it today. And this is my breakfast, and I want to show you what it is. These are not real too hot, these peppers, but I take some Parmesan and I put it in it and I cook them on the stove with olive oil. It's really good. This is from my garden. This is kale and what else? Swiss chard, things mixed together. A couple eggs, some corn on the cob that you get from the market here. I cut it off, and I like to put a little butter in it and cook it. And so that's just gonna go in the microwave for a couple minutes. And then I will make my drinks too, which are made from the greens from my gardens, ginger, and I'll show you that. So I like to make a big thing of green tea, and I keep it on the stove for a couple days at a time. I just make a whole bunch of it and add to it, and just turn it on there. And then what I do is throw in, these are decaffeinated tea bags, and because I have a AFib, atrial fibrillation, and it said caffeine sets it off, so I said, okay, I'll switch to decaf, and decaf has just as much, it helps you just as much as the non-decaf. It doesn't really change anything. Into that, I'm going to throw some apple cider vinegar, some cinnamon, some curcumin, some lemons, and some ginger. And I usually grow my own ginger. It's about time to plant it. And then some honey. And so I'm going to put that in there, let that cook up. I just let it sit there, and I take out of it and maybe add water to it for the next day or so, and drink it whenever I like. And I put it in bottles and take it with me too. You can put the whole skin in stuff. They don't put a lot of anything here. And when you're cutting the ginger, I just leave the skin on it too. It doesn't bother anything. So here it is. A little bit heavy on the curcumin today. And just mix that up a little bit so the honey gets mixed up off my spoon. And then that's ready in about 15 minutes, and it's good to go for a few days. It doesn't go bad or anything. One other thing that you could add is, this is called food grade diatomaceous earth. I usually put it in my green drink, which is in here, and I made these up this week. They are in bottles, and I take and mix half of it with water, and basically this is kale this time with a lot of the other same elements, actually, ginger, lemon, but I put the diatomaceous earth, a little bit of it in there, and what that does is clean your gut out in case you have any microbes and stuff that aren't supposed to be there. It's really good for doing that. So who the hell am I anyway? Michael, almost 75 years old. I grew up in New Jersey, lived in my adult life in several places, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Nevada for 7 years, and then Massachusetts for most of my professional life. I am a horse of a different color, okay? So, and what I want to talk to you about is share the way I think, the way I operate my life. I'm very intentional in my life, as you can see already. And each of these podcasts is going to go into different areas. I'm going to try to do a little bit of art, a little bit of gardening, work with animals, show you how I operate in operating my day. And I'm not always as organized as I am, sometimes very organized, but I do have a structure to my day that works really well. Take care of my body, my mind, my spirit, and have time to have fun and travel the world. And so I'm going to include that too. How do you travel effectively? How do you have fun, plan it out, enjoy your life? I have 6 children. One is adopted, and almost 19 grandchildren, and some of them in university. And so I'll tell you more about myself as we go through, but basically I live in Mexico for 8 years. I also live in the US, but mostly in Mexico. And I'm very efficient with my money. I'm conservative, but but really progressive at the same time. So you don't have to be one or the other. And I am very much a political animal, but also I try to meet people where they are. And I think that I can talk to anyone about anything and not be offended. Unless they attack me, I guess I could be offended. So that's the way I'm going to run this. And, you might like something I say, but I'm definitely going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge your ideas and your concepts and the way you live and whatever. In my men's group down here, we do stretches. And so I try to stretch myself every week. And I've ingrained a lot of them. So for example, when I eat this breakfast that I made, I'm going to eat with my left hand. I've been doing that for 2 years. And I noticed when I was painting at my new house that I started to get, my right arm got so tired, I started using the left and it was just as good as the right. And so I've started to use my left hand painting a little bit, my art. And so if I can change as an old fart, hopefully the rest of you can start to get off your butts and do something different every day, because this is it. This is as good as it gets. I have a saying that misery is optional, and so I have a very traumatic past. I'll talk about it too. That might be helpful to some of you. I've written a bunch of books and doing some screenplays right now. So a little bit of it will come in throughout. We're going to scatter these podcasts with different kinds of information and places, and I'm going to show you places I've traveled and how I did it and what I liked, what I didn't like, what I noticed about different cultures, language. I'm studying French for 1.5 years. I've studied Spanish for 7 years. I'm pretty good at the Spanish. I'll take you into some of the stores, do some things here. I will show you my life, and not that it's an exemplary life or so much better than everyone else's, but it's definitely going to be a challenge and a unique vision, and you're going to say, oh, okay, that's curious. Maybe I should do that or whatever. Or maybe I never want to do that, or that guy's crazy. Whatever. But you're going to definitely get a unique concept here. So, ciao for now.